Ursa Major VT. Said Minivi 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 Minivi. Minivolve. Said hey Ursa. Ursa Major VT. Said it's Q and a time. Ursa Major VT. Said I'm getting my hair cut after 5 months lol. That artsy ace. Said hey Min Blueheart. Simon Oma. Thanks for subscribing.
Alrighty, stream elements, you do not need to give me that alert twice.
Thanks for subscribing for 9 months.
Yo!
Airsoft_Wabbied. said 1 year OMG.
Bro, pretty close. Definitely close. Also, Simon, thank you for this sub as well. Or continuing, I guess. Words. I appreciate it. Also, Ursa with the haircut. Very nice. That sounds awesome. And Ace, welcome in. We got a party up in here. I can actually let me know if you can hear the music, by the way.
Simon
I can actually keep track of chat in OBS today. I don't need my phone today. It's weirdly liberating. I definitely need to do these more often. Because like I can look at Twitch chat in OBS. I can see it on you know, I can see when the ad breaks actually show up. Those take forever when you're watching the timer, by the way. Like holy crap. But welcome to the stream. How you guys doing today? Hopefully good. I'm having an okay day. I woke up late again because what else is new? You know. And like
Simon Oma,
it's fine.
Said wow, I've been subbed for 6 months already.
Yeah, time fucking flies, eh? Ain't that wild?
That artsy Ace. Said I just woke up from my second nap in a row.
Oof, I feel that. I feel that so much. I mean, I hope you got the rest that you need, but I definitely feel that. But y'all.
Simon Oma. Said hope you're doing better, Ace.
For real. But y'all, you know what today is?
That
It's Q&A time with
I'm
a
sure
blind VTuber or something. There you go. I definitely feel that, Ace. I feel you 100%. So I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea what to actually talk about today because it kind of depends on what you guys want to ask, I guess. It's a whole thing. I've shared this even with a few servers that I don't normally share my streams in, because I'm like, everybody come and ask me random shit. I don't know. I didn't prepare for this because I'm like, it's kind of hard to prepare if I don't know what people want to ask, right? And nobody had to, but you know, I did offer to let people send questions in ahead of time, and nobody's done that. I guess either they didn't have any or weren't able to, or whatever. Either way, it's fine. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're just gonna vibe, you know? So I suppose the question is, what's everybody up to today? You know? I'm not doing much, you know.
Said I have a question. How are you so suave?
How am I so suave? I'm suave? Is that an accurate adjective? Is that I appreciate the compliment. I never thought of myself as that, but you know.
Tiff said hi all.
Tifa, welcome in. How you doing today? We're just vibing, you know? We're just kind of hanging out, doing whatever.
Said just got my gel blaster. Simon Oma.
Okay,
said your outfit
neat.
is pretty stylish and hi Tifa. Swift Simeon.
I wish I could take credit for the outfit, but I can't.
Vibe Rabbit. Swift Simeon. Said hi Everipney.
Welcome in, Swift. But yeah, I wish I could take credit for the outfit, but I did not make it. I didn't really make anything for this VTuber. It's completely like, I used Vroid Studio, and this outfit and the hair and everything is what came with it. So it's not an original creation by me. I cannot take credit for it.
Simon Oma.
But it does look
you
great.
Still
I do
fancy
enjoy it.
One, though.
I liked it a lot. There were a couple. There are not very many like fantasy related options, and I did want to lean into that a little bit. And I felt this one I felt this
That
one
artsy
worked.
ace. Said Vroid is hard to use. Grats blue heart.
It's a little tricky. I tried to do custom stuff before, but ooh boy, that should be tricky. I do still have the model that DJ helped me with, where he custom made my Ace Flag t-shirt and stuff like that, and the hoodie. I do still have that one, but I haven't really been using it lately. I should bring it back maybe every now and then. But I kind of wanted to lean into the fantasy stuff a little bit. I don't know,
That
kind
artsy
of.
ace.
I say
Said
as
I have a custom Vroid model, but I don't like it much. Grimace.
That's fair. That's unfortunate. It'd be cool to see though. I'd be curious to check it out. But I feel that it can sometimes take a while to find something that you're satisfied with, because like honestly, I'm not even sure why I so a lot of people tend to put a lot of thought into their character design and stuff. And it's not something you have to do, really. And some people put a lot of love and care into it and stuff. For me, it just sort of, I was dicking around in Reality, which is like a VTuber app that I was dicking around with one time. And like I don't really stream on there. I tried it once and it's not very accessible, so that's unfortunate. You know,
Simon
it's got
Oma.
really nice assets
Said
and
you
stuff
mean
like
the
that.
Talia app lol.
Yeah, it's the app I use to make a lot of my D&D character designs, specifically for my changeling. It's got really nice assets and stuff. Unfortunately, it's kind of a gacha system a little bit, so every now and then they have different sets that you can basically gamble on to get more assets for your VTuber and stuff. Which is not fantastic, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of that system. But it is what it is. It's there. But I was kind of dicking around with it one day, and I created, you know, a
That
purple-haired
artsy ace.
elf that I really
Said
liked.
wow, that's fun though.
It is neat. It is neat. But yeah, I created this
That
purple-haired
artsy ace.
elf character.
Said what app is this?
It's called Reality. I believe it's only on iOS, but I'm not sure. It's basically it's just like a VTuber app that does let
That
you stream
artsy
on
ace.
it and stuff like
Said
that.
no.
Yeah, and you've seen the art from it because you've seen Talia, so you know the art style and stuff. And for those who have been around long enough, which is a lot of you actually, if you look back when I first started as a PNG tuber, I was using basically a screenshot from Reality that I'd taken and edited the background out of as a PNG model. And then I had the other one that I had commissioned from the Gaming Zombies, which was similar. But yeah, the the purple-haired elf started out as something I was just messing around with, and then when I had to rebrand, eventually I adopted it as my character. And that's the long, complicated story there.
That artsy ace. Said nice.
Yeah. And then, you know, I decided that I wanted to try the VTuber thing. I guess PNG tubing does count, really. But like I wanted to see what it would be like to have like a full 3D model and stuff. And then I realized that being on being in frame on like with a camera was not the easiest thing for me, just because of how my setup is and how close to everything I need to be. So I was like, well, this ain't gonna work out too well. So I stuck with the PNG tuber for a while because that's like animated-ish. And then I decided, you know what, fuck it, I want to try it anyway. Camera thing still didn't work out, but I figured out how to trick it to use my PNG tuber as a way to track it. So it's very subtle, but my VTuber is actually animated if you look closely at it. It's on a little bit of a loop. It's a little bit janky, but it's tracking my PNG tuber. So It is very jerry-rigged. It's just a glorified PNG at this point. And to be more practical, I could just use that and not use the 3D model. But this is cool. I like this model. So I'm using it, you know? It's a whole thing. But like, I originally wanted it because I wanted to represent myself on stream, because like, my first layout when I rebranded, it was all like green and stuff. I had this green aesthetic going on, which I did like, but that was temporary because I didn't have my whole thing figured out. And it was fine to have just the game and chat on screen and stuff. Like, that was fine. It worked, right? So technically, I could have just stuck with that and probably would have been okay. But I wanted to represent myself in some way, so I'm like, maybe I should try the PNG thing, you know? Just because I didn't want to be on camera. I am super self-conscious about every part of myself, like my physically, my whole body and everything. I hate how I look and
That
stuff.
artsy ace.
It's a whole thing.
Said same move.
Yeah, like it's a whole fucking thing. Like, I'm just like, I hate it. I hate the way, you know. And I'm like, I was originally thinking about using my old art that Targe Bunny had made for me back in the day. But, you know, I couldn't because it would be recognizable as my old thing, and at the time the rebrand was for safety reasons, which thankfully is not an issue anymore. So I couldn't use it. I guess I could technically go back to it if I wanted to, but I like being a purple-haired elf.
Tip said that's good to hear.
Yeah. And crazily enough, when I started using the purple-haired elf, when I started using this as my avatar, my original one, I had friends message me, and I'm not going to say who specifically because I don't want to out them for obvious reasons, but I had friends message me going like, hey, so couldn't help but notice, but your character has some serious Ace vibes going on, and like, as an Ace person, I really love to see that. And I didn't like, one of my friends straight up told me like, I didn't want to like mention it publicly because I wasn't sure if you were out or anything or what the deal was with that. And I'm like, nah, it's cool. But you know, it made me feel pretty happy, to be honest, because I was like, yay, cause like, it's one of those things where you look at, you know, originally I had like gray eyes, purple hair, black and white hoodie, right? Those are all the 4 colors on the Ace flag, right? But for somebody that doesn't know about the Ace flag or whatever, they're not gonna know. Like, they're not gonna know, right? But for the people that know, they fucking know, and it feels great. So it was just kind of cool that, like, even though I never talked about it that much, and I still really don't, I don't know, it's just cool that, like, people are like, hey, you know, we're cool with that, and we feel awesome in your space. And, like, I don't know, that should feel good. That's the whole thing. But yeah, that's the story of how I became a VTuber. There it is. Now I'm like, shit, what do I talk about? I ran out of things. But like, feel free to throw any questions y'all have at me, because like, I've mentioned this before, but I like to share my perspective on things as a blind gamer
Simon Oma
and stuff.
said you have a great space over on the Discord.
I'm glad you think so. Oh, I appreciate you, Simon. What the heck, man? I ended up with an amazing mod and friend, more importantly, friend in Simon. I appreciate you. But like, I've made a lot of awesome friends through Twitch and YouTube, actually, and it's probably like one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Was becoming a
Airsoft
YouTuber.
_Wabbeat. Said moo. That
Moo.
artsy ace. Said I have another question. Cats. Yes or yes?
Absolutely. You know what, actually, back in the day, I was not a cat person. But after living with my sisters for a while, they had two cats for a long time.
Said you could talk about Diesel.
I could talk about Diesel. Matter of fact, that is one of the cats I was living with for a while. So, okay. Potential slight trigger warning. I'm gonna not go into detail about it, but, you know, slight trigger warning for mentions of violence, I guess. I'm gonna make an effort to avoid as much detail as possible, though. Back in, like, 2021, I believe, I was living with my brother, and, you know, he did some shit. There was a lot of abuse, and it got physical. And I left and stayed with my sisters for a couple of years, as I was unable to find my own place. Everything's too expensive and such. But anyways, while I was at my sister's, I got moved into their basement because they're like, yeah, well, we have all of our private spaces, and no offense, but we kind of want our living room back, which is valid. And I was like, okay, cool. So they're like, we're going to give you your private space, or as private as we can possibly get for you, which was the basement. So I was like, okay, cool. Basement was also cat territory. So I got to stay with two cats. And the first one, Jack, big white cat, R.I.P. Jack. And the second one, Diesel, who's still sticking around. He's hanging out. Diesel in particular got very attached to me for a while. Like, he would constantly sleep in bed with me. He was just constantly on the bed, just constantly hanging out. Sometimes I'd be playing like D&D with people. He would waltz up onto my desk and sniff my eyeball for whatever reason. He was adorable. He's an adorable cat. I also found out that one, he was rescued from one of my sister's former friends, as far as I know, and two, that he is actually visually impaired as well. So I'm like, I can relate to this cat. And he was such an affectionate little guy, you know? So my opinion on cats very much changed because of Jack and Diesel. like honestly, because like I figured out very quickly, it's just like, you know, if you're gonna hang with a cat, you gotta hang with them on their terms, you know? It's, you know, they're very, very, very big on consent, which is valid, you know? So, cats, yes or yes? Yes, absolutely.
That artsy ace. Said I have a cat laying on me right now, lol.
Adorable. That's very adorable. I had, before I moved where I'm at now, my mom adopted a cat, which, to be honest, my mom tends to have allergies to like pet hair and stuff, and she has not historically been interested in cats in the slightest. But she adopted a cat because a family friend found about 16 kittens living in their barn. And they're like, we need to find these cats some good homes. And for the most part, they were in good health and stuff.
Ace.
They had...
Said wow.
Yeah. And like, they were in good health.
Artsy ace. Said that's a lot of cats.
That's a lot of cats. The only thing that was quote-unquote wrong with them was that, you know, they had some mites and stuff. So, you know, that was taken care of pretty easy, though, once my mom took the cat home. But yeah, so my mom, among other family members, were called to, you know, help with these cats. And there was this lady that wanted to adopt the cat that my mom ended up getting. And my mom told her, yeah, I mean, they've got bugs right now, kind of thing, like, just so you know, kind of deal. And the lady that wanted to adopt the cat pulled out because she was like, yeah, no, I don't want to deal with bugs. And I'm like, you're dealing with a wild barn cat. Like, what do you expect, right? So my mom took her home. Turns out she didn't really have a ton of mites going on, so that got cleared up pretty quickly, actually. And there weren't any real issues with that. We took her to the vet and everything, and she's in fantastic health, actually, which is great. But yeah, my mom decided that she was going to take in this cat. She named her Kiki. My aunt has Kiki's sister, who she named Kika.
That artsy ace said, what, that's so wild. Mites are normal for outdoor cats.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what is that? What was that lady expecting? Like, but it turned out fine. So we got Kiki and we got Kika. And then my cousin has their brother and named him Boston. So we got Kiki, Kika, and Boston. And then my other cousin adopted their other sister, and I forget her name, to be honest. I don't know where all the cats went. I just know about those ones. And like, I'm talking about a family that has been historically against having pets of any kind. Like, there's been the odd time where one would get a dog or whatever, and then it just like sort of didn't work out because they didn't want to put the time and attention into raising the dog, and then like, oh, this is a bad dog, it's so much work and everything. And I'm like, cats are work too. Like, cats are independent, right? But you still need to give them some attention and love and care and shit. Like, you know, you don't just plop them down somewhere and forget about them. What's the point of having a pet if you're not going to do that anyway?
I love adopting unadoptable animals, pleading face, mostly cats.
It's like, honestly, if you're going to have a pet, like, what is the point of getting one if you're not going to pay attention to them and take care of them? You know what I mean? Like, cats are work too. It's different work, but it's work. And cats, like, you know, some cats are assholes. But like, you know, if you can bond with them the right way.
Baby was the oldest cat in the shelter, so I knew she would be overlooked by most.
Oh. I'm glad she's got a new home now, like a good home. You know? It's such a shame when like when any animal gets like neglected because of their age.
Said I love her so much.
I believe that. I've heard her meow on call a few times. It's adorable. But yeah, I remember when I was living with my mom after she adopted Kiki. Kiki didn't spend a lot of time with most of us, but you know, there was one time I was home alone because I was tasked to look after the cat while my mom took my dad to the hospital because some shit went down. My dad's hanging in there. That's all I can really say about that. But yeah, so I had to watch the cat. She was glued to me the entire time because she knew something was off and she was terrified. And she'd never really been at home without my mom before. So she was very, very scared and she was glued to me like the entire time. It was very sad and she was very sweet, but like, I felt bad, you know? But like, I stayed with her. We just chilled.
That artsy ace said, pleading face.
Yeah, we just chilled. We watched videos. We just kind of hung out. And I was trying to distract myself too, because at the time I was terrified. Because my dad's health situation is such that any little thing could cause the worst to happen. And it's very stressful. And just really, really sad, you know? So, I'm sitting there freaking out, trying to comfort this cat. This cat's comforting me. It was a whole thing. But the last couple times I visited her, she wasn't really hanging out with me that much, because, like, you know, to be fair, I visited, since moving here, I went for Christmas. I went for Thanksgiving, and then I went for Christmas. And those are the only 2 times I've been back there. Because I hate being there. It's a toxic place. I don't like visiting them if I can help it. Which is unfortunate, honestly, but so Kiki's like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Like, actually, like the 2 times I went back, she actually ran away from me the first couple times, and she got mad at me because I was staying in the spare room, which is where my dad usually stays. Yes, there's a lot to unpack there. But he's like, yeah, I'm taking the couch for your stay, and you're gonna stay in the spare room. But Kiki likes hanging out in the spare room every now and then. So she didn't want to because I was there, and she's like, you're in my space. You know? But she eventually chilled out. There was one day she was feeling sick. She hopped onto the bed where I was chilling, and she just kind of hung out with me for a while. But she was not feeling well that day. She was having a little bit of a stomach bug, you know? But she ended up okay after that. She was okay the next day. So, like, she wasn't too sick or anything. We got ads coming up. I can actually monitor that shit now. Go fucking figure, eh? But yeah. I guess that's my one cat story. I have another really sad cat story, actually. Back when I was a kid, my family spent a lot of time with my great aunt and her part of the family. So it was my great aunt, my great uncle, my second cousin kind of thing. We spent a lot of time with that side of the family. And my second cousin had a cat named Simba.
Weird mode.
Oh my. So they had a little black and white cat named Simba, and he was pretty old, and she had him right up until she had a kid. Well, unfortunately,
said not weird mode, lol.
Nah, we get weird mode, it's cool. But yeah, so she had Simba right up until she had a kid. Unfortunately, Simba was not a fan of the kid and started being really, really aggressive toward him. So eventually, my second cousin was like, we need to find this cat a good home. Right? So for some reason, despite knowing that they were allergic to cats and stuff, my mom decided to adopt Simba. Simba was not happy about this. Oh, there's the ads. I will continue the story after the ad break, because goddamn. I got a thing on my phone. Give me a moment.
Ursa Major
You're
VT
gonna...
said, what did I miss? I just got a haircut.
Let's see. We've been talking about cats for the past little bit. I talked about how I became a VTuber.
Said talking about cats.
Yeah. And the ads interrupted me in the middle of my story.
Said woo cats.
Yeah. So, and I talked about my mom's cat. I talked about Jack and Diesel. R.I.P. Jack. I talked about my family's
said
cats.
I have 2 more ads loudly crying.
Yeah, there's about 30 seconds, 33, 2, 1, 30
Ursa
seconds
Major
left.
VT said, fuck, I missed the origin story.
I mean, we're gonna be here a little bit, so, you know. Sorry, I need a drink. We got 15 seconds left in the ads. I'm sorry, you guys. I will continue the Simba story in a little bit. In exactly 7 seconds. God, 30 seconds takes so long. So long. When you
that
fucking
ace
look at the timer.
Said, okay, we back.
Yes, we certainly are. Okay. So for Ursa's sake, I've been talking about cats. I talked about my mom's cat and my family's cats and stuff like that. Now I'm talking about my second cousin's cat, right? So when she had him when she was a teenager. She had this cat. And then she had him all the way up to when she had a kid.
Said yippee.
Yeah. So when she had her first kid, poor Simba was not happy about it and started, trying to scratch him, and he was being really aggressive. So my second cousin was like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and try to find this cat a new home. Despite my parents' allergies and shit like that, they decided to adopt Simba. And Simba was not very happy about that. So he was kind of the littlest
Said
shit to us.
I'm convinced all cats named Simba are evil. Lol, my mill had a cat named Simba, and oof.
No, but like in this case, Simba was just mad and stressed out, and
Said,
nobody gave a shit.
Ursa? Nice on the haircut.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, I think Simba was just stressed out and upset, and like he was taken away from his home, and so he was not happy. And most of the time he would hide in our crawl space and stuff like that. He just wanted to be left alone. So for the most part, we just left him alone, let him do his thing. But there were times when he was left home alone, he would start tearing up some of our shit and taking a dump in our beds.
Said thanks. I passed out at work today, so that's pretty cool.
Oh no! Are you okay? We're holding off on the story. Are you okay? Holy shit, dude.
Tiff Tiffby. Said oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, this cat, he did everything he could to let us know that he did not like us and did not want to be there with us. He wanted to go home. My mom, this is one of the decisions that she's made throughout my life that I'm like, terrible person material. I love my mom, but holy crap, sometimes there are just things that she says and does that piss me off so much. She decided that she was going to take Simba to a church and leave him there. I'm serious. Like, she fully intended to abandon this cat. Thankfully, the church was not that far from my house.
Said nah, it's good.
I'm glad you're okay. But yeah, thankfully the church at the time was not very far from my house, so someone brought him back. Because for some reason, like, she decided to leave the collar on and stuff, which is actually a good thing, because he was not abandoned in the end. Or I guess would have been a good thing if the decision that was made next didn't literally, like, my parents eventually decided, I don't know how they justified it, but they decided to put him down after he was brought back. And it took a little bit of time. It was like at least a month or whatever after that. So that poor cat who just wanted to go the fuck
glad
home.
To hear you're okay, but take care of yourself.
Yeah,
that
for
artsy
sure.
Ace. Said oof, sad face.
Yeah.
Tiffy. Said poor Simba.
Right?
Ursa
the poor fucker
VT.
just wanted to go home.
Said bro, that's so fucked up.
Yeah, he just wanted to go home, you know? And that's what happened to him. And I still feel sad about it, you know? And like, I wasn't even particularly attached to this cat. I kind of hated him. So I was like, you know, as a kid, I was like, okay, like, I'm glad he's not bothering us, but like, we could have found him a better place to live or something. We didn't have to kill him. You know? Like, we could have done him fucking justice
said
or
well,
something.
in happier news, baby likes my body pillow.
That's good. All I can say
Ursa
about...
Major VT. Said Ayo. Simon Oma. Said yeah, the church might have been better for Simba. That artsy Ace.
So,
said,
I mean...
so now she sleeps next to me lol.
That's adorable. So the church wouldn't have been able to take care of the cat. That's why he was brought back. Also, he had the tags saying where he lived and stuff, so they're like, okay, we'll just bring him home, right? Which in theory was the right call. Good on them for doing that. But oh boy, like, we should have done what
Ursa
they
Major
did
VT
for our dog.
said congrats on the parenthood.
Eee. The cat. Good old cats. So we had a dog a couple years later. My mom decided to get a dog because our neighbor had a dog and she was always going on about how great German Shepherds are and stuff like that. So my mom eventually got one. And this dog basically became my sister in my mind. And maybe about 3 years in, they got her when she was about 2 months old, I think. But about 3 years in, they decided, my mom was like, I can't, my allergies, it's too much, we have to give her away. So thankfully, thanks to my neighbor, that dog was given away instead of,
Simon Oma
the alternative.
said one of my cats who lives on my lap was going to be given back to shelter when my aunt couldn't take care of him but convinced my mom that we should take him and he loves me.
Aww. Well, I'm glad he's got a good home, But yeah, my parents decided, or my mom pretty much, forced us to give our dog away. And I was really mad at my mom for years about it, and I'm still upset about it because the person that took her, the person that adopted her, offered to give us her contact info so that we could still keep in touch with the dog, like, and get updates on how she's doing and stuff like that, because she fucking saw my brother and I fucking crying when she was taking the dog, and she's like, that's awful, if you guys want to keep in touch and know how this dog is doing, I'd be
Ursa
more than
Major
happy to
VT
talk to you.
said that makes me so sad, man. That dog is traumatized for life.
Yeah. We heard that, thankfully, one of our other neighbors saw this shit go down and took down that person's contact information. So she would talk to that person every now and then. And then when, my mom would come for a visit or whatever, she would tell my mom, hey, this is how your dog is doing. By the way.
Simon Oma said, damn, that's cold giving away your dog.
Yeah. Thankfully our one neighbor that convinced mom to get a dog in the first place helped her find someone that actually cared for her. So she was left in good hands, thankfully, like if anything good can be said of the situation. Sasha found a good home in the end. And she lived for a very, very long time and was happy where she was at. So it worked out for her, thankfully. I was sad about it for a long time and stuff. And thankfully that one neighbor, kept us informed of how she was doing and stuff like that. So every now and then I would get a little update on how my sister was doing, So she lived a good 13 years,
Ursa Major VT said happy ending at least.
Yeah, like, I'm still sad about it. I wish we could have had her for longer, but, at the end of the day, I'm just glad that she was able to, go to a good home and she was taken care of and was happy, But, yeah. And now my mom has this cat. And I'm like, please actually take care of this cat. Please let the third time having a pet be the best time. But for now, things are going well with Kiki. I'm sorry for the downer stories. Holy shit. Unfortunately, I have far too many of those, but I won't get into all of them.
Said I feel that though, haha.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not going to get into all the downer stories today. I'm sorry. I have a lot of them.
Simon Oma said we came here for stories.
Technically, y'all came here for Q&A. um, I'm just rambling because I'm just filling out space until questions come in. You know what I mean? Um, but it's fine. Um, but there you go. There's my cat stories. I guess some of my cat stories.
Ursa Major VT
And dog story.
said on a happy note, "Men, would I be able to send you some Vero Studio clothes assets? I don't know if you'd like them or use them, but I know that you also use the program." Simon
Interesting.
Oma said it was a question. Ace asked about cats. It counts.
I mean,
Ursa
that's
Major
fair.
VT
That's fair.
said Min.
Yeah, I'd be happy to check those out, Ursa. If you want to send them to me, I'd definitely look at them. Vroid is interesting to use, but it's definitely it can be tough to use. It can be tricky. It's a little finicky and clunky,
Ursa
I find.
Major VT said speech to text sorry.
But you're fine. You are fine. I use dictation all the time, and it screws me over constantly. But yeah, it can be fiddly, but it's definitely a lot easier than trying to figure out how to make these VTuber models from scratch. Although I'm sure if I put out the insane amount of cash, I could probably get something insanely awesome made. VTuber models ain't cheap, and I understand why. That's not a complaint, by the way. You're paying for an incredible amount of skill that goes into making these things. They are not easy to rig. They are not easy to model, you know? It's like you're not just paying for the final product, you're paying for the person's time and skill and labor. So it's a pretty penny. Unfortunately, it's a pretty penny that I cannot
Simon
spare.
Oma said how much do they cost? Curiosity Sake.
I've heard some of them can go upwards of a couple $1,000s. I don't know if that's on the more expensive end, to be honest with you.
Ursa Major VT said minimum 1K.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Because I've definitely heard that, but I'm like, I don't know if like that's more, you know. And I guess that makes sense, right? Because you're talking about a 3D model.
Simon Oma said that certainly is a lot.
Yeah. But like you're talking about a 3D model, right? Somebody's making that shit piece by piece. It's not just simply a drawing, right? And
That
even then,
said a lot of the VTube models on Etsy are at least in 250. Ursa Major VT
gotcha.
said, but that typically comes with rigging. That
Yes.
Artsy Ace said $250.
Yeah. And it's like you're getting someone to create this model, which is not an easy thing to do. It takes some time. It takes a lot of time and effort to get everything sorted out. And then if you get it rigged at the same time, like, you know, because there's some that you can get that aren't, and then you have to do that rigging yourself, as far as I know. And to my understanding, that is not easy to do, especially if you have a lot of moving parts to it. And I'd like to point out, just like me saying, oh yeah, it's not simply a drawing. You know, drawings take effort and work too, you know? So, I'm not trying to discredit artists. I just want to be super clear on that. Because that shit takes time and effort too. But like, this is why I say, like, if you're on a budget and you're trying
Ursa
to
Major
do
VT
stuff.
said, I've been watching my brother make his from scratch on Blender and it's insane.
Yeah, like it is. I've seen videos online, like I've seen videos like on YouTube of people like showing the process, and it's sped up, and the video is still like 2 hours long, and that's sped up. And like sometimes they'll be like describing what goes into it and shit, and like I don't know how Blender works. I don't understand it. It is a confusing program. I've heard people that have been working with it for a while like say like, yeah, it takes a long time to learn. It's not an easy thing to use. It's a great tool from what I've heard, but there's a lot that goes into that shit, you know? So if you're gonna pay for that, be prepared to pay a lot. Because even in my opinion, and this is keeping my current budget in mind, even in my opinion, that $250 mark that Ace presented, that's still a lot for me. I am not rich. So that is
Ursa Major
definitely,
VT
you know,
said it looks like sorcery.
it's insane. It is insanity. So a lot of that kind of stuff, unfortunately, is out of my price range, which is why I went to Vroid, because like, you can make this for free. And it's like, yes, what I have going on is basic. No, it's not the best thing in the world, but I like it. It's cute, and it fits my needs currently, so I'm good, you know? I'm good. You know, maybe one day I'll be able to save enough to throw down for something like that, but who knows? That's probably not going to be anytime soon. But that's okay. I don't do this to make I don't stream to make money. Like, yes, this is monetized, but let's be honest, like sometimes in a stream I'll make like maybe 25 cents at most per stream. Usually less. You don't get a lot from it if you're a small
_Wabby
if you're a small creator.
said fav food.
Favorite food? I have a lot of things that I like. I have a lot of things. And like most things with cheese in them, because cheese is one of my favorite things. Usually I say pizza, and that's honestly it probably is. It's just such a versatile thing. But honestly, just any kind of thing that's got like cheese in it. Mac and cheese, cheesy bread, all the stuff, you know? Hell, even just fucking cheese. Just give me cheese. I eat too much cheese. It's not good for me, but I eat it because it's delicious.
Airsoft _Wabbeat said, what would your final meal be?
What would my final meal be? That's a... I don't know. I don't know if I want to think about it, to be honest with you. Because, like...
That artsy ace.
That's a heavy question,
said
damn.
Mine would be a smorgasbord lol.
Fair.
Ursa Major VT.
That's fair.
Said I don't get the appeal of cheese, but more power to you who do.
That's fair. That's fair. I know plenty of people that don't like cheese. I know plenty of people who also don't like eggs. Weirdly enough, anytime I run into somebody that doesn't like eggs, they tend to make the best eggs.
Swift Simeon.
It's really
said
weird.
Always go with an unlimited Pepsi for a final meal.
Unlimited Pepsi? I mean, damn. I don't know that I like Pepsi that much. Cream soda,
Simon
maybe.
Oma. Said I don't like eggs or cook them lol.
That's fair. One of my one sister, she doesn't like eggs. She doesn't eat them, right? But like she'll make them for her daughter, you know. Although her husband makes amazing scrambled eggs. But, you know, she's made eggs for me and stuff before in the past, like
that
when I used to visit her.
Said okay, how
and they were
about
really
this?
good eggs.
What's your favorite Minecraft build? Just
My
one build,
favorite...
not a server.
Okay, are you asking builds that I've done or builds that I've seen? Because hell, I could...
Simon Oma. Said troll skull probably. That artsy ace.
That is definitely
said
good.
done.
That is definitely good. That is definitely a good one, yeah. Okay, my favorite builds that I've done. So, there's the entirety of Madeira, which is my floating island base from Unknown Empire. That is still, to this day, in my opinion, in the top 3 of my best projects that I've ever done. And I actually recently went back into survival on that world because I'm like, I need to change of pace from like for stuff, so I'm gonna try survival again and see how that works out for me. Then there's the library and waypoint that I liked a lot that I made. Y'all can see all these on stream or on the VODs if you go to the YouTube. They're somewhere in there. That you'll have to dig around a little bit, but they are around. I suppose though, if you give me some time, I could set up Minecraft and show y'all. If you really want to see them. And then yeah, Simon's right. The Troll Skull Manor build, I did a video on that as well, actually. And that is definitely one of my favorite recent things that I've made. And like, yeah, it's probably those. It's probably those three, honestly. Which I've made a good couple things that I really like, because there's like, and most of them are in the Unknown Empire world, the Eston Season 2
that
world
artsy
kind of
ace.
thing.
Said nice.
Yeah.
That artsy ace. Said love that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I could load up the game and show y'all.
Airsoft_Wabbeat. Said which products do you prefer, Pepsi or Coke?
I don't have a preference,
Jab
actually.
jab. Said unlimited Olive Garden breadsticks for final meal. They can't kill you till you finish them all. Jag jab.
Fair
Said
enough.
that message was late, sorry, also hi.
You're
Tip
fine,
50.
welcome in.
Said I've got one. If you were a D&D character, what would your class be?
Ooh, Bard. Definitely Bard. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't feel like I'd fit any class.
Said the Pepsi or Coke debate has been quite the thing in our D&D group chats.
Oh my god, yes.
That
And to be
RTAs.
honest, it gets annoying.
Said mine
I'm not
would be
gonna lie.
NPC.
Like, because, so we got someone in our D&D group, and this is no shot against her kind of thing. I just want to be clear, like, I'm not trying to insult anyone or whatever, just to be transparent. But this one friend in our D&D group, she insists on telling me that there is in fact a difference between Coke and Pepsi. I personally cannot tell, nor do I care. They are both the same thing to me, and I don't care enough to even
Ursa
try
Major
to look
BT.
for the differences.
Said Barbarian.
Barbarian's good. So obviously me and this person have differing opinions on that, and that's fine, right? Like my thing is like, okay, yeah, we
Ursa
disagree
Major
on that.
BT.
That's okay.
Said Gra HHHH.
She's got her preference on it. I forget her specific preference on it, but it doesn't matter. She likes
Said
one
Ursa
over the
would
other.
like to rage. Hee hee.
Do it. But I am of the camp of it doesn't fucking matter.
Simon Oma.
I don't care.
Said she likes Pepsi.
Got it. Okay. But like I'm sitting here going like, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't give a shit.
That artsy
right?
ace. Said Ursa, you're not a druid? Airsoft
And-
_Wabbeat. Said a rogue bard.
Oh, there you go. Those are good. Those are good. Rogue would probably have been my next choice. Although multi-class does sound fun. I've never multi-classed a character before, actually. I've never done that before. I might be doing it in the future with my changeling bard, actually.
Simon Oma. Said Bard, rogue is Simon, who is my fav character to play. Ursa Major BT. Said nah artsy.
He's a great
I'm very
character.
Unga bunga.
Unga bunga? Alright. But yeah, my final verdict on Coke versus Pepsi. I don't care. They're both good. So, if you have a favorite, if you can tell the difference
Ursa
between them,
Major VT.
fantastic.
Said
I don't
Boobia
care.
6 UG Boobia 6 UG Boobia 6 UG Boobia 6 UG.
D&D classes, if I were to pick an order, because like I don't feel like I fit
Tip
any of
tippy.
them. I feel like Bard would
Said
be
I
the best
personally
fit.
would be a cleric, not because my first ever D&D character is one, but because somebody's gotta keep an eye on everyone. Simon Oma. Said here's a question, what's
Clerics are
your favorite class
great.
to play? And your favorite character of yours?
My favorite class to play. probably Rogue. Bard has been very fun though.
Ursa
Like
Major
it is.
VT. Said you're a brave soul, Tifa.
Clerics are great too though. Like
That
it's probably a toss up between
said I'm
Bard,
convinced
Rogue,
I
and
would be a
Cleric.
disposable NPC lol. Simon Oma.
Oh no.
Said Tifa you just want Fiona to keep an eye on Quincy.
Y'all, when we start uploading our sessions of that particular campaign, the one that Simon is referencing right now, it's gonna be great. I can't wait to share that with y'all. It's gonna be a little bit, but it's gonna be on our DMs channel and stuff. It's gonna be later. We'll when it finally becomes available, I'll tell you more about it. But yeah, I feel like for me,
Tiff B.
Bard is definitely
Said
the
it's
best
Simon
fit.
Oma somebody has to. Are you undead? Gonna get him a black eye eventually, lol.
Right? Okay, legit. Simon's character Quincy. He's after an undead person that like killed his
Simon
dad.
Oma. Said he's something alright.
But he's just like a sheltered kid.
Said pancakes, waffles, or French toast.
Ooh, French toast. Hands down. All three are great, but French toast, 100%. But yeah, no, Simon's character, like Quincy, he's like a sheltered kid. So he doesn't really know too much about the world or the people in it. So every time he sees someone that like he's not really like seen before, he'll just be like, "Are you undead?" Every time they're confused, and every time Tifa's character comes up, it's like, I'm so sorry about him. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just waiting for the day one of our other party members is just like, as soon as we meet someone, before anything is said to anyone, they just turn to Quincy and they're like, "The answer is no, Quincy. He's not undead." I'm waiting for that day.
Simon
I'm kind
Oma.
of
Said he only does it for races he doesn't know.
I know, but
_Wabbeat. Said pancakes are my go-to. Tiff B.
pancakes
Said
are
in
respectable.
Critical Role terms, Fiona is Matthew Mercer apologizing to the sponsors on behalf of Sam Riegel.
That's fantastic. But okay, so going back to
That artsy ace. Said
favorite
rolling on the
class
floor,
and favorite
laughing,
character
rolling
of
on the
mine to
floor,
play.
laughing.
Favorite class is a cross between Cleric, Rogue, and Bard. Favorite character to play? That's a difficult question to answer. But I'm gonna say... Well, I guess y'all are stuck in the ads. I'm gonna say either Rin Greylock, who is my human artificer. She has a mechanical owl companion named Quirky, who's a sassy lil bitch. And he has the
Simon
tendency
Oma.
to glitch and do
Said
some
the
fun
right
stuff.
answer is quirky lol.
The right answer is Quirky. I don't technically play Quirky though. But Quirky is great. The other answer to that question would be her name is
Tiff
Alicia
Tiffy.
Lynn Everlong, but
Said
she goes by
Quirky is
Talia
best boy,
Rose.
and I refuse to hear any slander against him.
Oh no, I have no hate to Quirky. I love him. He's just a sassy little bitch. He communicates by farting out little eggs that have notes in them. Because while he can communicate with Rin telepathically, he chooses not to because he thinks it's funny. So he uses the little eggs. It's like, you know those little plastic Easter eggs?
_Wabbeat.
Oh my god, that scared
Said
me.
lol I love it.
That scared me. And he has the chance to glitch every now and then, so sometimes he doesn't always sound like an owl. Sometimes he'll sound like any
Miniball.
other bird.
Said airsoft _Wabbeat rolled a d20 and got a 9.
Right on. But yeah, sometimes he'll sound like random birds. Sometimes he'll just start dancing and his eyes will light up in different colors. Sometimes he'll zap you. Rin's morning alarm is quirky casting Toll the Dead.
Have a drink.
Rabbit, you're going crazy with the points, man. I got you. That's not me telling you to stop, by the way. You can keep going. It's fine. There's just a lot happening all at once.
Stretch.
Oh my goodness. There's, again, a lot happening all at once. It's fine. It's fine. That's probably actually a good idea.
Minivolve. Said Tiftifb rolled a d20 and got a 15.
Y'all.
Minivolve. Said Swift Simeon rolled
Oh
a
my
d20
God.
and got a 6.
Ow, fuck. Okay. Stretch is done. Drink is done.
Minivolve. Said that Artsyachi rolled a d20 and got a 16.
I'm sorry, how did it pronounce your name? Did y'all hear that?
Jag Jab. Said I started my first D&D campaign not too long ago. It's fun. But I had no idea what I was doing and was thrown in without making a character, so I ended up a human fighter, which is a little boring.
You know
That
what?
Artsy Ace.
You know what? That's a
Said
start.
winking face. You know.
Oh my goodness. But you know what, Jag Jab? That's fair. I started out, my very first D&D character was a halfling rogue.
Minivolve. Said Simonoma rolled a d20 and got a 14.
I'm actually
Ursa
going to
Major
hold off
VT.
telling that story.
Said you can make it interesting by being insane.
That is true. But I'm going to hold off on my first D&D experience because I actually want to do a stream where we talk about first D&D experiences and how we got into the game and stuff. I'm going to try to, I don't know when I'm going to do it exactly. I'm going to try to make it happen soon. But yeah, it's going to be a thing where, you know, anyone can come on and tell their stories about how they got into D&D. It's kind of like a whole thing to encourage people to get into the game themselves, kind of thing. Tips, basically like tips and tricks to getting started. I'm gonna try to talk to a few of my DM friends and see if they're willing to come
Simonoma.
on and give their
Said
perspective
that'll
as a
be
DM.
fun to chat about first D&D experiences.
Yeah, like I'm gonna try to get my DM friends, at least some of my DM friends, to show up and give their thoughts and perspectives on
Major
it as
VT.
well. And
Said O-M-E-M-E-M-E-M-E-M-E-M-E.
yeah, you can be there.
Simonoma. Said wanna chat more about D&D and stuff, come stop by the Discord.
Yeah. Simon, you're on fucking point. You know what, y'all. Listen, Simon is on point with the shit.
Ursa Major VT.
We're gonna give him a
Said
shout
the
out
goat.
here.
You rock! Woohoo!
I'm gonna give him a
Go
shout
check
out
out at
there.
Simonoma on YouTube.
Fucking,
He's pretty
been
rad.
an absolute fucking champion, so go show him some love. That's what you get, Simon.
Simonoma. Said thank you. That Artsy Ace. Said blue heart, blue heart, blue
I
heart.
forget what question I was answering beforehand. I feel like I was trying to say that my two favorite characters to play were Rin, partly because of Quirky, and then my changeling bard, who is she goes by Talia Rose. Her name is Alicia Lynn, but she goes by Talia Rose. But she is a self-proclaimed magical girl. She will use a combination of her ability to change form, and she has the shift weave, so she can change her outfit, and she has minor illusion, so she can create magical girl type illusion transformation things. It's great. She's very she loves to sort of
Ursa
show
Major
off.
VT.
It's so much fun.
Said when is this D&D talk happening?
I don't know quite yet. I'm gonna try to see if I can get a few people together to chat about it. Probably next week or the week after. I'm not entirely sure. This is still kind of in the idea phase. So,
Tiftifb. Said ooh, awesome.
yeah. So Ursa, if you want to be in it, let me know when you're free and we can plan accordingly and stuff.
Jag
and I'm
Jab.
gonna talk to a few other
Said
people
ooh
too.
must join Discord.
Yeah, go for it. It'd be great to have you. We do often, when we're just hanging out, we end up just diving into talking about D&D, honestly. mostly about our characters, and we just sort of dive into it regardless of who's there. So most of the time, people just have like zero context of what's going on, and they hear us just rambling about our characters, going, "What the fuck is going on?" That's our.
Ursa Major VT.
That's where we're
Said
at.
fuck yeah, I'll hit you up tonight or tomorrow night literally.
Yeah, no worries. Just like whenever you can, just let me know when you're free and we can work it out. Because I'm actually gonna try to plan out this collab, you know what I mean? Oh, there you go, the link tree works. That's got all my shit, even the YouTube and Twitter in there. I refuse to call it X. I'm not gonna lie. I'm debating on getting rid of my Twitter. Because, like, I only ever really post my, like, live noties on it,
Wabbit.
you know?
Said Minecraft then D&D for hours lol. That artsy ace.
Yes.
Said me too TBH.
Like, cause one, I hate what Twitter has become. I despise the fact that Elon has turned it into even more of a dumpster fire than it already was. And like, that's a whole bit of drama that I don't know that I'm ready to tackle on this
Major
stream
VT.
today, to be honest with
Said
you.
I also detest it.
Yeah, right? Like, and I'm just like, I never really use it. I never really, like, I'll post when I'm live on there and stuff. And like, you know, sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, I've tried, like, I'll try to be more active on here and just post random shit every now and then. And then I just never fucking do. Anytime I want to post something random, it just goes to Discord because I know the people there will look at it, you know? Like, if I'm gonna post something, I'm gonna send it to my friends, and I'm gonna post it on the thing that I know my friends are at, right? I know that some of my friends are on Twitter, but they don't tend to use it that often.
Luigi666.
You know?
Said I hear ya, I barely use Twitter either.
So, like, I'm just like, I know that, even though I'm posting on Twitter, which, like, a lot of people are like, you should totally do that when you're, like, promoting your stream and stuff. I know for a fact that very few people click on that, you know? There are very few people following me on Twitter that actually pay attention to what I post, which is, again, mainly my live notifications, and I understand why somebody
Said
wouldn't want to follow
at this point I use Facebook more than Twitter, which is funny.
Yeah, I hate Facebook too, honestly. And it's like, I have a personal Facebook. I will never make a Facebook for my streams and stuff. Like, I will never do that. So I'm just like, you know what? It's, you know. And like, there was one time I was on TikTok too. I created a personal TikTok account, so I don't post anything on that. I just watch stuff on it. But like, I had a TikTok for it, and I was making shorts at one point and stuff, and I just don't feel like I get enough interaction to make it worth it. And I'm also like, if that's my sole motivation for making shorts and TikToks, like, they're not fun to make. If that's your motivation, they're not fun. And I don't think it's worth it, you know? I feel like if you're gonna make some sort of thing, whether it be a short or a long form video or a stream or anything that you're gonna put anywhere, online or otherwise, you shouldn't do it to get attention. You shouldn't do it for the views or the likes or whatever. You should do it because it's fun. You should do it because it's something that you want to do and that you like to do. I understand that for those that end up, you know, having that as their job, that's
said I'm not
easier
feeling
said
too
than
hot
done.
for some reason. Grimace, I'm gonna try to chill before D&D Blue Heart.
Yeah, no, do what you gotta do, man. Take it easy. I appreciate you chilling, though.
Simon Oma said see you later, Ace.
For sure. I hope you feel better soon, dude.
That artsy Ace said bye y'all Blue Heart.
Have a good rest, bud. But yeah, like, I just feel like, I understand that, you know, for somebody whose job it is to make stuff, it, you know, doing it for the fun of it is a lot easier said than done. But, if you're gonna start, like, if you're gonna just start, like, if you're gonna start a channel or anything,
Airsoft
just
_
do it for the
Wabby
sake of doing it.
said CM music Malo wiggle Malo wiggle Malo wiggle.
Those are very cute emotes. Those are very cute. Those are so cute. But yeah, like, I don't know. Cause like, yeah, I do get a little bit of cash from Twitch and stuff, but it's nothing that I'm gonna be living off of. It comes in handy every now and then, but that's not my motivation for trying to do what I do. I do want to, you know, be able to engage with y'all more often and stuff, because I know like sometimes during my streams y'all just vibe, and that's totally fine. I'm not saying that you have to talk or anything, but
Simon
I want
Oma
to be able
said
to.
I did not mean to start a rant by posting the link tree. Oops.
You're fine. You're absolutely fine. We're killing time here. We're just vibing. It's okay. This whole thing, honestly, you're talking to someone who's putting shit out on the internet. It's always gonna be a ramble. But yeah, I'm not gonna be living off of what I get from Twitch, and that's fine. It comes in handy every now and then, but I want to be able to do stuff that will allow me to, you know, talk to y'all more and have a conversation and stuff like that. Because I do like that y'all chill out on the streams and vibe and stuff like that, but I'm like, I want to be able to talk too. And, you know, sometimes it's hard to do that when I'm very focused on a game. Which, you know, arguably, if I'm not gonna chat with y'all during a fucking stream, I might as well do Let's Plays again, but
said
editing
what I
takes
have to
forever.
word lol.
What are words? Don't even worry about words. Like, you don't have to. Like, if you don't want to chat, you don't have to. I'm not trying to force anyone to. But I want to present the opportunity for people to be able to and have a conversation if they want to. You know what I mean?
Ursa Major VT.
Like streams
said
like
for
this.
Sure, dude.
Like streams like this where we just chat. And y'all can ask questions and stuff of that nature. Because, like, again, I really want to be able
Ursa Major
to
VT. Said, and I'd love to be able to add to your stream too.
For sure. And I appreciate
Simon
it.
Oma said, yeah, lurking and talking both have merit, whatever works.
Yeah. Like, I want to be able to interact with people more often, but I also don't want to force people. If they just want to lurk, then they can lurk. Like, that's... I'm never gonna give you shit for just lurking. Because that's not an okay thing to do.
Said I had a person come through my stream a few nights ago asking if lurking is cool, and I said emphatically that not only is it cool, it's greatly accepted.
Yeah. Because, like, people will lurk for all kinds of reasons. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they're just anxious. Maybe they're just shy. Maybe they've got, you know, maybe they're trying to do multiple things at once and just want something in the background. Like, if you're just, as long as you're here, you're fucking here, and that's beautiful and amazing, and I appreciate it, you know? Like, that's it. And it's like, yes, I want to be able to talk to the community more, but I don't want to force y'all. You know? This is not a thing that I'm trying to force on anyone. This is more just, hey, here's an opportunity. If you want to, feel free to take it. If you don't, and just want to vibe,
666
there you go.
Said exactly.
But like, you know, I was, I do want to be able also to share kind of my, my thoughts with everyone, because, like, I started my original channel back in the day, back when I was Mini
Airsoft
Machino.
_ Wabbeat said maybe they want to see what stream is like before chatting.
That's also true. And that's valid. And there's probably about a million other reasons I haven't considered as well.
Said also that.
Yeah. So, like, I'm never gonna give you shit for lurking. If you want to, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do.
Simon
That's
Oma
okay.
said, yeah, I used to do that.
That's fair. That's totally valid. And you can still do that if you're more comfortable that way. You know?
Ouija 666 said I will never understand people who don't like lurkers.
Yeah, I don't get that. I've not run into that personally. Most people I've run into are just like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. Do you. I've not personally met anyone that isn't okay with it. One thing have run into, which is strange to me, is people that don't like it if you're collabing with someone and you read their chat.
Ouija666 said it's almost always people on Twitter complaining about it lol. Simon Oma
Yeah.
said you all would be surprised but I would never talk in streams.
No, that's fair. To be honest, even when I go to streams like nowadays, I don't tend to talk much in chat. I don't I don't know. I just don't. Not often. I mean, hell, we just seen it plenty of times. I haven't been to a lot of your streams recently, unfortunately. But like usually I'll say hey and chat for a little bit and then I'll just chill, you know? And that's just kind of the way I am, honestly.
Ouija666 said ye, I know you lurk in my chat whenever you're there.
Yeah. And like, you know, usually I'll pop in, I'll say hey and stuff, and you know, if there's something that I feel like I can, like a bit of a conversation I can add to, then I'll do that, and then I'll probably just lurk until something else pops up that I can contribute to.
Said I don't expect you to be there every time lol.
Yeah, that's fair. And like, I don't expect a lot of people to show up to my streams in general, to be honest. I'm glad that people do. I really am. But you know, there's lots of reasons why people don't. It's kind of like lurking. Maybe they're fucking busy. You know? I've had people message me going like, I'm sorry I didn't make it to your stream, I was doing this. It's like, dude, that's okay. You've got life going on. Don't worry about it. You know? It's like, you're good. But, oh, what was I trying to say before? I had a thought going and I completely lost it.
Ouija666 said precisely, life comes first.
Yeah. You know? And I'm sitting there going like, I appreciate that you're thinking of me.
Said you first then us. Simon Oma
Yeah.
said I feel bad when I miss one and don't do my job.
You're fine. I told you don't have to be here every time. You're fucking going above and beyond at this point, Simon, and I really appreciate it. But like, if you've got life going on, you've got life going on. Don't worry about it, you know? I do my best to have things in a way that mods don't really need to do much when they're around. But when they are around, it is helpful and appreciated. But, you know, I can handle stuff. It's cool.
Ouija666
like, yeah, you got nothing to worry about, dude.
said streamers can self-moderate most of the time. I only really can't when I'm playing a Souls game lol.
Yeah, like, you know, there's times, like, for me, I have the hardest time when I'm doing, like, multiplayer stuff, like Mario Kart, even. That's usually the hardest to moderate. Thankfully, you know, I haven't had too many issues with that, except for, like, maybe 1 or 2 times max. So, like, usually it's not that bad. I have bots that help with moderation and stuff like that. So, you know, it's cool. The extra help is very much appreciated. Don't get me wrong.
Simon Oma
But it's all good.
said yeah, unfortunately Mondays are the day I'm the least able to come by and help out.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. We can still make it work. So, no worries. But yeah, so a little bit of personal history that I want to dive into is that back in the day, back in say 2013, I was in college, and that's when I started my very first YouTube channel. Went by Mini Minchino back in the day. I had that channel for such a long time. But
Ouija666
I started it.
said funny that Fi's Farewell is playing RN, cause I'm going through Skyward Sword now lol.
Oh shit. I've been meaning to play that, honestly. But yeah, so back in the day, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I made my old YouTube channel, Mini Minchino, with the intended purpose of being able to share my perspective as like a blind gamer and stuff. But like mainly I just wanted to have a space that I could just sort of not think about depression bullshit at the time. Because yeah, you know, I think that's obvious at this point. But like, I don't often have a chance to talk about, I guess, the blind side, so to speak, of things. And it's like, you know, I'm also openly ace and stuff on here and things like that. And like, I've had the occasional person come in going like, hey, I appreciate that you're open about it. I can actually be more or less safe here and stuff to chat and things. And like, I don't know. I just feel like that's great. It's an awesome thing. But as far as, you know, blindness goes in particular, you know, I'm always hoping that people will ask questions about it. Mainly because a lot of times, you know, especially when you're out in public, a lot of people don't ask questions. A lot of people will make assumptions and stuff because they don't want to be offensive or anything like that. And as much as I understand that, I'm also like, man, I wish y'all would ask questions. I really wish. Because I'd rather be asked and have a slightly awkward conversation than have someone be wrong and make just a really harmful assumption and, you know, end up accidentally causing more issues or whatever, or stop other people from finding out and things. Like,
Swift
I've
Simeon
had...
said, what is your funniest blind moment you've had?
Funniest blind moment I've had. Okay. So this story is a little bit fucked up. So there was one time, it was maybe about 2016. I was with my mom at the mall, and we were with a friend of hers and at least two of her kids. And we were walking through the mall, and there was this dude in a blue shirt, and I remember this distinctly. He had just a giant afro, right? He walks by us, he sees my cane, and he turns to the side to face me, starts waving his arms around, and he's like, hey, hello, can you see me? And I was perfectly prepared to just ignore him. Cause like in my mind, I was like, oh, look, the wind, right? My mom freaks out, and this dude just sort of digs a hole for himself even further and stuff, and then starts saying all kinds of ableist shit. Not even just about blindness, but about other disabilities in particular. Like learning disabilities and shit. And I was like, dude, you are a piece of shit. Holy crap. But it was just really funny because we schooled the guy real quick by just
Jab
calling him out.
said, wow, that guy sucks.
Yeah, no kidding. But we pretty much just called him out, and then like the whole, like everyone around was just staring at this dude like, bro, what the fuck? So, he tries to walk away all cool, and whatever. And, it was pretty funny, because like I was just laughing and my mom's like, it's not funny. I'm like, I think it is. That dude was fucking stupid. You know, and like it could have really been, if it was the wrong day, I would have been severely hurt by that, you know. Because that is not the first, and I'm sure it won't be the last time I ever deal with something like that. I used to deal with that a lot when I was a kid, and it used to really bother me. But now I'm just like, haha, look at that, you're an idiot. Fun fact, most blind people still have some form of sight, so just throwing that out there. Like, hi, hello, can you see me? The answer is probably still going to be yes to some degree. It's a spectrum. So there's a knowledge nugget for you. Other moment that was really funny, it actually happened on my old YouTube channel. Back when I started streaming, I was streaming on YouTube. There was one day I was playing Splatoon with Targe Bunny. And we had a few people come in and play with us, right? They chose what to play. Turns out they had chosen Splat Zones. And me and Targe sort of didn't really clue in, and we both thought that it was Turf Wars. So we started playing like Turf Wars, and these guys win in like 5 seconds. And they just start laughing. Because they're just like, wait, hold on, did you not like read the thing? I'm like, we can't. So like, it was really, really funny. Because like we had all kinds of people in chat just watching. And we just fucked up that bad. It was really funny.
Jag Jab said OMG.
It
Simon
was
Oma
really, really funny.
said that's what happens when you play with blind kids lol.
It totally is. And they were like the people in chat, like I'm pretty sure they were a little bit younger. They're like, okay, we know you said that you were blind, but we didn't actually like clue in what that meant until now. It was genuinely like we had a good laugh about it. It was really, really funny. And that's probably one of the standout moments that I've had. 'Cause like, not gonna lie, some of the print is weird in Splatoon. And also, I'd never really done multiplayer in that particular way with people, so I was still figuring out how the fucking menu works. And like, so, you know, I missed the thing that said, hey, you're doing splat zones, by the way. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's go for more Turf War. Because it was just like, we did Turf War, and they were like, yeah, let's go again, right? So I was like, okay, we're doing Turf War again. Awesome. So it was like a giant accidental miscommunication. And we just had a laugh about it. And then we tried it again, and then we did it because we knew it was happening that time. But it was just a really funny learning experience. Because I'm just like, yep, okay. Me and Targe were laughing about it for a good 10 minutes. It was pretty funny. I'm trying to think of other funny moments that I might have had. I have this one friend that I met in college, and she's got pretty severe CP and stuff, so she doesn't have a lot of mobility and things like that. So whenever I'd go to the mall with her, oftentimes I'd be the one helping her, with her water, or with like, anything else that she needed carrying, or things like that, right? To the point where people in the mall thought that I was her caregiver, which was frustrating. I'm like, why can't a friend be allowed to help a friend? But whatever, that's not what I'm talking about here. There would be points where she'd be like, okay, so I need you. She's like, this is gonna be really awkward, but I need you to help feed me. She's like, I literally can't pick up this utensil right now. I need your help. Right? So I'm like, okay, but if your food ends up your nose, don't blame me for it, right? And she's like, oh, right, you're blind. Shit, how's this gonna work? And I'm like, it'll be fine, don't worry about it. There were points where food ended up her nose. Not on purpose. But for the most, I got better at it, I got better at it. And every time it happened, we would just laugh about it because it was genuinely funny. And she'd be like, yep, you warned me. You warned me. But she often would tell me, she's like, I've never had like other friends offer to help me the way that you do. And I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, I understand that sometimes doing that kind of thing can, take a lot of energy and stuff. But I'm like, it's not like, I'm not doing anything like that's overly difficult or anything like that. I'm literally just handing someone a glass of water. Like, it's not that hard. Or like, I'm spotting them as they're trying to head onto the bus because people don't want to wait for a wheelchair to move, Or they try to step over her as she's trying to get on the bus and the bus driver then has to get them to step off so that he can put the ramp down so she can get on, kind of thing. So like half the time I'm basically standing guard to make sure that people don't act like assholes so that she can get on the damn bus. I have a few depressing stories about getting on the bus, actually. There was this point back in college, right? A lot of shit happened back in college. So a lot of times getting on and off the bus, especially at the college, was really, really annoying because people would often try to just push past me and stuff like that. Like, oftentimes for me to even be able to get on the bus, I would have to like hold my cane way out in front of me to the point where it wasn't even effective as a mobility tool so that people would see it and step back and be like, yo, let me on the damn bus. Half the time I couldn't get a seat because people wouldn't give me the priority seats or anything like that. So I was just kind of stuck there dealing with it. Half the time I couldn't even get on the bus at all. And then there was one time I decided, you know what? I'm going to put my cane away. And I didn't even hide it. All I did was attach it to my belt loop. I just folded it up and attached it to my belt loop. And nobody stopped me. Nobody tried to block me. Nobody tried to cut in front of me. People just let me on. Right? And they didn't even see the cane. Nobody noticed that I had it. It was just, and it was in plain sight. Like, if people looked, if people actually like paid attention, they would have seen it. Right? But nobody saw it, nobody noticed, and I did that for weeks and never got never got any shit trying to get on the bus. And I told other people about it.
Simon Oma.
And they thought I was making it up.
People are so obnoxious at buses when they see the white cane.
It's people turn into assholes when it comes to buses, right? And okay, so on one hand I get it. There are a bunch of students that are done with their long fucking day of classes and they just want to go home and sleep. I get it. I genuinely understand. Because I'm in that position too. But I'm also like, there have been days where I had so much trouble getting on the bus that I would just choose to walk home instead because it was just too much hassle and I would rather deal with fucking oncoming traffic. Which is unsafe, by the way. It was that bad. And then when I stopped using my cane at the bus, despite, you know, that compromising my mobility and safety, I had a better time. And people thought I was making it up. I would tell other people about it. I would try to talk to whoever I could to see if anything could be done about it, which turns out no. But people thought I was making that shit up. And I think that's the worst part about having, I don't know if it's the worst part about any disability. It's definitely a shitty
that
part.
Sounds like it really sucks.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. I've had people try to, completely different city. And I was a little bit younger. I was, probably just about to enter high school back at this point. I was taking O&M in my hometown, and I was using my cane at the bus terminal downtown. And somebody noticed that I was using a cane, and my brother was there too. So there was two blind people just walking side by side using their canes, right? And, you know, we weren't taking up any extra space. There was maybe about 2 or 3 people in the center where we were trying to walk that, you know, we asked to move, and one of them noticed our canes and decided to push other people into traffic just so they could get out of our way. And that was unnecessary. They didn't need to do that first. Like, they didn't need to move that much. They could have just told us we were there. We could have gone single file. We could have done literally anything that didn't involve endangering other people. But no, thankfully, the oncoming bus saw this happening a mile away and was able to stop. And there were some, like, they usually have some like security, like, patrol guys going around the terminal to, like, you know, stop any bullshit from going on.
Said, wow, that's effed up.
Right? Like, I'm like, are you that concerned about tripping over someone's cane that you're going to literally endanger other people's lives? the patrol guards like literally like called those people out and dealt with them because they're like, you put other people in danger. Like those people could have gotten killed just now. Like, and thankfully there wasn't a lot of activity going on at the terminal at the time, so there was only like one bus trying to move through it at the time. But there was about to be a rush. The reason we were there is because we were going to go somewhere else. So we were going to the stop to wait for the bus that we needed, which was maybe about 5 minutes away at that point. So we're like, there's about to be more buses here. If that happened while one of the buses was like leaving or something like that, like, or closer by, or if that bus immediately beside these people started to move at that moment, they would have gotten hit. They would have gotten injured. Like, it's not that hard to communicate with the person next to you and be like, hey, I'm just so you know, I'm here. You know? So, just don't push people into traffic to get out of a blind person's way. Communicate with them instead. With the blind communicate with the blind person. Just use your damn words, please. And like, you know what's, I hate talking, so part of me is like, I talk about it because it's important, because I think it's important for people to know about this kind of thing and stuff. I don't like talking about it particularly, just because it's not always pleasant, and you know, I don't know, it's, I don't mean to assume other people's intent when I say this. And I think that's another important thing to acknowledge. But I just feel like a good chunk of people, at the very least, don't see it as an important thing because it doesn't directly affect them and stuff like that. Or, you know, they just don't think it's worth harping on about or whatever. But, like, I'm sorry. Disabled people are getting dehumanized and mistreated all the time. It's not like that every single moment of every day for a lot of people, but, you know, depending on the situation, it really can be. And, like, I don't even know how to describe the feeling I had when those people got pushed into fucking traffic. Like, I was horrified, right? Because I was like, oh my god, those people could have died. But also, the people that did it thought it was better to do that than communicate, you know? Like, they just saw the canes and not the people, you know? And I've dealt with many instances of people just seeing the blind before the person, you know? And like, it's like, listen, I might be blind, but I am a person, and I started my content because I'm like, I want to show people that I'm still a person, and that, you know, if you're coming on my stream and chilling out and vibing, and you don't realize that I'm blind, it's because my blindness does not affect my personality. It's just, I'm a person who happens to be blind, you know? And to be honest, I think that's one of the most important things that, like, you could teach someone. Like, I just think that's one of the most important things that you can, I don't know, that you can share. Because to me, it's just really fucked up that just people don't see that. People don't get that. And that's not all people. It's just there's enough. There's enough that it fucking gets to you every now and then. Like, most times I try to be cool about it. A lot of times I try to be chill. But there are just some days where I've just had enough of it. And I'm like, I'm fucking tired, dude. I'm just tired. And unfortunately, days like that seem to be happening more and more often. Which sucks. A lot. But, you know, thankfully the world isn't all gloom and doom and everything, and I try to hold on to that. I try not to give in to toxic positivity, but I try to focus on, like, the good things. Because, like, I've had people ask me, like, what the, it's like, what's the best thing about being blind? And honestly, the answer to that is still kind of dark. Because the answer to that is people are willing to be assholes around me, right? Because they don't think that I can, you know, pick up on that or defend myself or whatever. But since people are more willing to do that, I know which ones are the assholes. I know who to stay away from. You know? So, as much as it sucks to deal with it, I also know who not to engage with. You know? So that's like one good thing, I guess. Depends on how you look at it, right? Because in order to deal with that, you still have to deal with possibly abuse. Definitely ableism, which is arguably abuse. Depends on how you... depends on what goes down, I guess. But like, on a more positive note, I get a really different perspective on things, right? Because I do have some sight, like I have usable vision, obviously. But it's still very limited compared to what other people will see. Sometimes I will look at photos, like I'll take a picture of something and I'll look at the photo and I'll zoom in on it just to see more of the detail that sighted people will see, you know? And I'll be like, that's what this thing is supposed to actually look like, you know? I have a monocular that I kind of accidentally stole from my ex-boyfriend. And I'll use it when I'm in stores and shit. I look like a fucking pirate, which is genuinely funny because I get weird looks and people are like, why are you doing that? I was like, bro, I'm blind, man. But I'll use basically this little telescope to read all these signs, and I'm like, holy shit, I can read this sign from 20 feet away. And, you know, normally sighted people could, but I can't unless I use that thing. So sometimes it's just really weird when I get to use fun little tools that most people don't see on the regular basis, and then they just kind of like get really, really confused by it. And if they asked about it, I would absolutely tell them. But most of the time I just get like these weird looks as people just walk by and they're like, they don't really know what to make of it. And it genuinely makes me laugh. Like, I'm just like, ha, you know what? I'm gonna have a good day today. But yeah, I mean, I guess there's lots of other stuff I could talk about, but I guess it depends on what y'all want to know, you know? I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick drink, actually. But yeah, sorry to dive into, excuse me. Sorry to dive into, like, the giant rant. Because, like, you know, there's a lot to say about it, to be honest with you. Give me a moment while I look at some stuff. If you have any more questions about stuff, feel free to, like, dump some shit in chat. Doesn't matter how, like... Doesn't matter how out there you think it might be. Just feel free to ask whatevs. Give me a moment, actually, too. Alrighty. Cool. But yeah, like, also, too, I actually went to, I went to a school for the blind as well. And I went there I started there when I was 7 years old. So that school, they go from, like, pre-K all the way to the end of high school. So you could spend pretty much the majority of your life there. Or at least the first half of it, anyway.
Jag Jab said, I have a hard time wrapping up my thoughts, but I do enjoy hearing other people's experiences such as that. It's opened my eyes to a lot in a positive way, and I'm sure I'm not the only one.
That's fair. That's fair, and this is why sometimes I like to try to bring up opportunities to bring it up, because like I think that's important. And it's like even if it is just sharing stories and experiences, because you can learn a lot from that. I think you can learn a ton from what other people have to say about certain things. You know what I mean? And like my experience is not the universal blind experience, right? Because like, you know, you'll talk to somebody that's like totally blind and has absolutely no vision at all, and their experience will be entirely different from me, kind of deal. Like, and like, you know, you'll talk even among people with similar levels of vision, like you talk to me and Simon, we'll tell you very different things. Because like the way his vision works is a little different than mine. The way my roommate's vision works is a little different than mine, kind of thing. Like no person will tell you the exact same story. There is no universal thing when it comes to, honestly, I think any disability. I think, you know, whatever it might be, manifests in everyone slightly differently. Probably very similar in a lot of cases, but never exactly the same, you know what I mean? And at least from what I know, because I mean, I don't know everything about every disability ever, because that's a lot of info, let's be honest. I think one of the most important things to think about is just that it's never the same for every person. It's never exactly the same. And also how people react to it is going to be very different and stuff too. When I was a kid, it was always treated like a bad thing. And sometimes I still fall into that awful mindset. And it's like, no, it's not a bad thing that I'm blind. It sucks and it's frustrating sometimes, but it's not a bad thing. I don't have anything to be ashamed of like people once made me believe. It's just, I do have to deal with the daily frustrations of it and the fact that the world at large is made for sighted people, and that's frustrating, but it's not my fault, and I don't have anything to be ashamed of. You ask the Catholic school I used to go to, they'd probably tell you otherwise. That's a different discussion. I'm gonna stay out of that one.
Simon
because
Oma
that kind of ties into...
said, yeah, how you're raised influences your disability too. I know my parents didn't really know how to deal with it the best either.
Yeah. And my parents really had no fucking clue.
Said, oh boy.
Yeah. I'm gonna avoid talking about the Catholic school because that's gonna get into my thoughts about religion, and I don't think we're ready to have that conversation. I know I'm not. So we're gonna avoid that one. I also don't want to piss off the wrong crowd. I don't want to deal with that. So I will say
Swift Simeon
that
said, what item thing has had the most positive effect for you to what you like?
What item... hang on. What item / thing has had the most positive effect for me to do what I like? Honestly, just my computer in general. Just my PC. Cause, like... it gives me... honestly, I have a monitor that's way too big. It's my TV. It's just huge. But, like, it gives me access to... it gives me access to information that I wouldn't otherwise have, or would otherwise be very difficult for me to get through Braille and other mediums like that, through an underfunded program. Thanks, government. Again. Whew, sorry. Other discussion that I'm not ready for. Oh, I hate when politics gets involved with it. God. Sorry. But yeah, no, my PC is definitely the most helpful thing. It gives me access to loads of stuff that I wouldn't otherwise have easy access to. And, you know, it's got screen reader options, magnifier options, everything I need in order to be able to get most things to work for me. And it's not perfect, right? But it lets me do what I do. I wouldn't you know, I wouldn't be chatting here with you guys without it, you know? I wouldn't have a VTuber without it. I wouldn't have most of the friends I have without it because I wouldn't be able to communicate with them and stuff like that. Second would probably be my phone because, you know, that's my direct line to the world, basically. Without that, I'm kind of fucked when it comes to most things. It helps me read my mail, you know, it helps me with shopping, it helps me with doing everything, like most things, honestly. Hell, I even used it to help memorize my stove layout. I took a picture of that and zoomed in on it. VoiceOver on the iPhone now has the ability to read text from images to a degree. So once I took a picture of it and saved that to my photo album, I was able to have VoiceOver
Simonoma.
actually tell me what
Said
buttons
phones
were
are
on my stove.
definitely a great tool to help with seeing things for the blind.
Yeah, 100%. Like there's OCR where you can extract text from images and stuff like that. Which is still not perfect, but it can be helpful. There are apps that let you take pictures and send them to people whose job it is to describe to you what's in it. So they can help with mail, they can help with other things, they can help with reading recipes, ingredients, figuring out what the hell can of food I have in my hand right now. You know, just shit like that, you know? So that's definitely, you know, those 2 bits of really advanced tech, let's be honest. I honestly, back in the day, when I was a kid, I never thought tech like this was possible. Like, I did not have a clue that you could actually magnify your computer screen. Right? And like, I was, you know, back in the 90s, right? Like, we didn't have that shit. My cousin got a computer in the early 2000s, and it was, you know, it was cool for its time, but I sure as hell couldn't use it. And then, like, back when I was in grade 2, when I started at the blind school, our teacher had an Apple IIe in her classroom. Why? Because that thing talked to you. Everything you did, it would talk to you. It was so fucking cool. An Apple IIe. So it's like, I was under the impression that that kind of shit did not exist. And then here I was dealing with a machine that was older than I was, that was letting me do my fucking homework. Like, that shit blew my mind, bro. Like, and now I have, through the aid of friends and such, I have a machine that lets me talk to you guys, that lets me read, that lets me write, that lets me play games that I never thought I would be able to play in my life. I genuinely thought that Pokemon would be the only thing that I would be able to play, like, ever, video game wise. And I am so happy to know that that's not the case, because I have a deep love for Pokemon. My views on the modern series are a little bit fuzzy these days. It's a little bit rough, and I think a lot of people can say that at this point. But that does not change the fact that I have a deep love for Pokemon. My first alias, technically my second alias, my first alias was a lot further back, but my first YouTube alias, I fucking named myself after a Pokemon. Like, I love Pokemon. But you know, I thought that that was the only thing that I would be able to play as far as video games go. And at the time, I had to learn to be content with that. At the time when I thought so many things were impossible, I had to be content with that. I had to be content with, you'll never be able to drive, you'll never be able to read, you'll never be able to do any of these things that you desperately want to do. I had to learn to be okay with that. I am so happy that that is no longer the case. I don't have to be okay with that. I can do the things. It's like, you'll never be able to draw. There's no point in you pursuing art because you'll never be able to draw. Granted, I don't draw that much these days, but I fucking tried anyway, and I did it. Honestly, that's one of the good things about the School for the Blind that I went to, because their motto, I'm pretty sure it's still the case today, was the impossible is only the untried. Where it's like, it's only impossible if you don't fucking try. You're not gonna do anything if you don't fucking try, right? I don't think that's universal, because I think everything has their limits. There are things that I know I cannot do, and I have to be okay with that, at least for now, until there's until I either figure out a way to make it happen, or someone else comes up with a method that works. And then, you know, a lot of times it's like trial and error. You try it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you either figure it out, or you go the tactical retreat approach, you know? So like that's one of those things that they tried to instill in a lot of us, because a lot of us came from backgrounds where people were just like, yeah, no, you can't do these things because you seemingly can't do anything. Because I guess in their mind, sight is required for everything. People have legitimately asked me, like, how do you do the dishes if you can't see them? It's like, first of all, I can see them. But even then, I don't look at them when I'm doing them, because I do it by feel. Because sometimes you run into shit that's really hard to see, right? But you can feel it. If I can feel that there's grime on the plate, why am I going to look at it? I can feel it, and I can take the sponge and go over that grime. You know? The only time I'll look down is if, say, I'm dealing with like a really, really sharp tool. But even then, I've learned how to deal with it without looking at it. But I like having the extra safety, so I will look at it. But like, you know, it's just learning kitchen safety and how to handle yourself, you know? Lots of people will put like little bumps on their appliances to mark where buttons are at, so they can operate them without having to read them every time and stuff like that. So there's lots of ways to figure shit out, you know? Loads of ways to adapt. It's not always easy. It's really not. Like, I'm genuinely still terrified of the day that the rest of my vision goes away, which is entirely possible. If that happens, pretty much the way I do everything is going to have to change. Because that is going to entirely change the way I interact with the world, you know? And that is going to take me a very long time to basically relearn a lot. Because I've learned how to do things from a perspective of someone that still has usable vision. Because I'm like, I have this vision, why don't I use it? There were people at the blind school that tried to discourage me from using it, because they're like, you know, you might go blind, you might go completely blind one day. You should, you know, learn how to do whatever without sight. And I do wish that I had taken a little bit more time to do that, but they refused to let me do things the way that was most comfortable for me as well.
Swift Simeon
So
said, my family has a history of glaucoma, it's only a matter of time for me.
that's rough. I don't have glaucoma myself, but I've heard it can be kind of a rough time. And like, you know, there's definitely lots of resources you can look up and find that can possibly help. Unfortunately, there's a dark side to that. Because unfortunately you can't talk about this without bringing that up. There is a dark side where sometimes certain programs are underfunded or just don't have the right people that should be there and stuff like that. So you, unfortunately, inevitably will be dealing with some bullshit, whether you like it or not. You know, but if you know where to look, you'll find what you need. Sometimes it's just a matter of, I guess, chance, just sort of encountering the right people that know shit. It's kind of just like, you know, if you're dealing with a certain disability, like reach out to other people with that disability, because chances are they'll know some sort of resource or have some sort of method that they can either pass on to you or whatever that might be able to help, you know? And that help might just be, hey, I know someone that can teach you a little bit about independent living and stuff like that to, you know, that's more catered to your needs or whatever, you know. And I think that's really important. I know a lot of adults in particular can be quite embarrassed to do
yeah,
something
talking
like
to
that.
the community is helpful and having a good support system is great too.
Yeah. Like, if you're able to find, and like this goes for like any community. This can go for any community, especially like, you know, communities that offer support and stuff. Like, reach out to the people in it. It's not easy to do, especially if you're someone like me that has really, really bad social anxiety most of the time. To be honest, half the time I'm rambling is just me trying to cover that up. I'm gonna be real with you. The anxiety is real, you know? So it's not easy. It's really, really not. And, you know, sometimes if you're lucky, you'll end up forming your own little group and community that you can talk to and share your knowledge with and stuff like that. And communities like that, you know, as long as shit doesn't get too toxic, that shit literally saves lives. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I've had people come up and tell me about shit that doctors never told me about.
Can't wait to retire and play a bunch of blind D&D.
Listen. You ever want to play D&D with blind people? You know, just hit me up, and I can't guarantee anything, but I can ask questions. You know.
Simon Oma.
No promises.
Blind D&D is a blast.
Blind D&D is great.
Said community support is a wonderful thing.
It really is. And like, it can be very, very hard to reach out. For all kinds of reasons. Because at least for me, again, I'm purely speaking from my perspective here. But I've always had
Simon Oma,
like a fear of being
said
judged.
our DM has way worse vision than us and not much usable vision, and he makes it so much fun.
You really do. I hope everyone is able to play tonight because I'm very excited for our session. He was actually messaging me earlier today asking me stuff about my character because he's like, I lost some notes and I need some clarification on a few things. I'm like, okay, shit. But he has plans.
Said I'm good to go.
He has plans. I hope Ace will be feeling better by then. I mean, if not, then I mean that sucks because I hope he feels better. But you know, I'd rather if he's not feeling up to it, I'd rather postpone the game for when he is feeling better because D&D is not fun if you're not feeling up to it, you know. And I'd rather not do that at his expense because that would suck. That would just be shitty and awful. But sorry, what was I saying?
Simon Oma.
I have
said,
a big fear. I have a big fear of being judged, which I've been trying to overcome partly through making content and streaming and stuff, and slowly starting to realize that nobody gives a shit. At least as far as, you know, some of my weirder ideas and stuff. And I feel like I've been making progress with it lately because I've really been, especially with D&D lately, I've really been pushing some of my weirder ideas for character stuff.
Simeon said I'm too busy worrying about myself to judge anyone else.
That's also fair, you know? And it's like, but see, for a long time, right, I grew up with people that would constantly judge me. My mom would constantly judge my appearance and my body and just everything that I did and said, and sometimes how I chewed my food.
Simon Oma Said I have that too, it can be a struggle.
Yeah, so even nowadays, I still struggle with that, even though I know consciously that, like, nobody cares about that kind of thing. Nobody cares how you're chewing your food as long as you're not being a gross asshole about it. Like, nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. The only person that does is 2 hours away and is not here to fucking poke at you. Like, you know? And because, like, it's every time I stream, I'm not gonna lie to you, every time I stream, there are lots of days where I don't really feel this, but there are some days where I do, where I'm like, God damn it, if mom was here, she'd fucking judge the shit out of it. She'd be sitting here calling it stupid and whatever, like a waste of time and blah blah blah, which she has done. Not specifically about streaming, but about basically my interests as a whole. The only reason that she doesn't poke me on streaming is because she thinks I get paid more than I do for it. So, yay. But like, I can deal with that, but, like, you know, she'd always criticize my appearance and my body and just everything, right? So, since she was kind of my primary source of info for what was going on in the world, she'd be sitting there going like, everybody's judging you, everybody's staring at you, everybody's doing this, everybody's doing that, and it's like, no, it's just you. You're the only one doing this to me. So reaching out with that deep ingrained fear can be very difficult for me. I'm glad that I've been able to overcome it to the point where, you know, I can talk to you guys and I can chill with you guys and hang out and stream and do all kinds of fun shit, you know, and play D&D and stuff like that. But there are a bunch of other things too that I still struggle with. And a big part of that struggle is, like, my own, like, spirituality, which again I'm not going to dive into, but I'm just saying that sort of that has an impact on even that. Like, when somebody gets up your ass enough like that and treats you like that for a huge portion of your life, it can fuck you up. It can fuck you up. I did not come out of that okay, and I'm still trying to heal from that, and it's gonna take me a long time, you know? And as much as that sucks, that's okay, because I actually saw a TikTok today. I don't know, this got me thinking about it. I actually saw this TikTok today. It's one of those, like, AI videos where it's like there's this voiceover reading a post and it's just Minecraft parkour footage in the background. But what was said in it kind of made me think a little bit, because it was just a story about this person talking to their dad about, like, that phrase, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And they were saying, like, I had this, like, disagreement with my dad where, you know, he's like, I disagree with the phrase, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I don't think that's universally true. So my dad went and thought about it for a little bit, and he came back and said, it's like wood glue. And the person's like, what? And then the dad was like, you remember that one time we built this bookshelf, or we had this bookshelf that broke, and how I was saying we had to let the wood glue dry before we could, you know, put anything back on it and stuff like that, and how the shelf would be a lot stronger once it was fixed because the wood glue would make it stronger? The dude was like, yeah, but I can't help notice that what actually broke the shelf wasn't dealt with. The thing breaking the shelf didn't make it stronger, the wood glue did. What doesn't kill you can leave you broken and traumatized and all kinds of shit. But the healing, despite how much time it takes, is what makes you stronger in the end. You know? What doesn't kill you makes... What doesn't kill you doesn't make you stronger. Healing does. It just takes time, and sometimes you need help. That's, you know, that's the takeaway from that shit. And, like, I don't know if that's, like, corny or whatever, but, like, honestly, I think it's worth thinking about, you know? Some of the shit that comes out of my face. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But how long have I been rambling at you guys? It's been like 2 hours? Shit, okay. God damn. Maybe I should do more of these more often. People keep saying I should do more chatting streams. Sometimes I just feel like I blow my social load on these, and then after I'm just tired.
Simon Oma said there's nothing wrong with talking to a professional, you can't always sort through things on your own and that's okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, I can't really afford a professional, so I'm kind of screwed on that front. But, I mean, there definitely ain't no shame in it. There was one time I was able to, and it was not a good experience for me. Sometimes you run into
said there's a quote from the
bad
second
shit.
campaign of CR that fits for that. Pain
Oh?
doesn't make people, it's love that makes people. The pain is inconsequential, it's love that saves them. Swift Simeon
Oh, that's fucking
said
beautiful.
this might make you laugh. I contemplated religion for so long as a child. I got put into therapy for being quiet for too long. I just didn't want external influence.
Well, shit. Oh, is it sad that my first thought to that was, holy shit, I was called out for being antisocial because I was being quiet for too long as a kid. Motherfucker, but damn. That's kind of, that's heavy though. That really is. Honestly, though, I've found that, like, thinking about religion and shit can sometimes get you in a fucked up place, too, sometimes. At least I've found, mainly just because I've had bad experiences for the most part with it, and I'm trying to work through that. It's a lot of, I guess, trauma and stuff with that, and things. And, again, I'm not gonna dive in too heavy into that, because that's a big can of worms that some of my opinions on it are less than positive, we'll say, so I'm gonna keep those to myself. And I just want to like clarify, just because I have issues with it doesn't mean you can't believe in it or partake in it or whatever. You do you. I will figure out my own shit in due time. It's gonna take a hot minute, but you know, everybody's got their own shit going on, you know, and everybody's gonna react to everything different. So I guess that's just a thing to keep in mind. I feel like I just have to be a little careful with how I address it, because if I am gonna talk about it, I don't want to shit on anybody's deal. Because I feel like that's not a good way to deal with that. It's not. No thanks. Anyway, I'm sitting here going, what do I talk about next? What do I like? It's fine. Everything's fine. Again, see, every time I say like
Simon Oma
everything's fine, that's
said
me
I'll
trying
have
to
check
calm
back
down
for
my
the
own
rest
anxiety.
later. Time to go eat.
That's fair, actually. And like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be sticking around. Actually, it's already after 6. So I actually might want to consider working on dinner in a little bit. I don't necessarily want to leave right now, but I'm also like, what do I talk about?
Jag Jab said if you want a different subject, what kind of music do you like?
What
Favorite
kind of
artist,
music
band?
do I like? Okay,
Simon
yeah,
Oma
we can go
said
for
yep,
a...
need food before D&D.
Yeah, no worries. You do you, Simon. I appreciate you sticking around so long, though. But okay, yeah, I appreciate the topic switch. My favorite music. I am a
Simon
metalhead at
Oma
heart.
said before I go check out the Discord for anyone new.
I appreciate you, Simon. I appreciate you so much.
Simon Oma
Okay.
said bye everyone.
Have a good dinner, dude. I'll see you later. But okay, so favorite music. I'm a metalhead at heart. If I'm in the right mood, I will listen to anything. But yeah, metalhead. I do love me some alternative rock and stuff like that. rock and metal, basically. So some of my favorite bands, my absolute favorite band is Alter Bridge. Basically Creed, but with, in my opinion, one of the greatest singers on the fucking planet. I absolutely adore Miles Kennedy. And then, you know, Avenged Sevenfold, fucking Dream Theater. I'm trying to think. What's on my fucking playlist? I do sometimes dive into Zebrahead. They're fun. Let's see. Skindred. Fucking... Oh my god. I'm trying to think.
Swift Simeon. Said by Simon.
Let me think.
Banana!
The Banana Lord's final farewell. But yeah, I'm just like a rock and metal person. I do love me some punk every now and then. Most of the time I'll listen to fucking anything if I'm in the right mood. I tend to prefer lo-fi for streams. I would love to get something.
Said I currently watching Metalocalypse, such a odd show.
Oh, right on. I haven't watched that in forever. It's been a hot minute. But like I tend to stick with like some type of lo-fi for streams, which I do like lo-fi. It's very chill, you know. I have been known to turn on the whole like lo-fi beats to chill / study to stream every now and then. But like I've been wanting to find a source of some sort of like some stuff I can use for stream that is a little bit more rock and metal based, something that fits my personal like preferences a little bit more than the lo-fi. I do like the lo-fi. I don't know how people would react to the rock though. I know not everybody likes it. Not everybody likes heavy guitars all the time, you know what I mean? And I get that. I understand that. So like, I just like, where do I find stuff like that? I haven't really found too many that I can use that I liked a lot. Cause like, I have found that like doesn't cost a good amount of money. And, you know, I don't really have the budget to maintain that. So I tend to go for like freely available stuff, like the royalty-free stuff that, some people have suggested that I move away from game shops, and I've been thinking about it. I just haven't really taken the time to look into it. Mainly just because there's some shit going on with game shops and how they handle stuff. But they do offer their music royalty-free, so... I used to use no copyright sounds as well. And like... I never had an issue with them, and sometimes some of their stuff was kind of fun, so, you know. But, yeah. I'd like to find something that suits my actual musical preferences. Just the rock and metal and the punk and the good stuff. You know. It'd be cool one of these days. I feel like I gotta do some digging on that, actually. But I guess out of curiosity, what's your guys' favorite type of music and artist and such? Just out of curiosity. What do you want now, phone? Uber, you can leave me alone. Uber's doing like this thing, like it's like, oh hey, there's like a promotion or some shit that I don't care about. You know what bugs me? Fucking ads, right? Okay, so I download, you know, I've got like Uber and like Skip the Dishes and stuff on my phone because, you know, I order food. I rarely travel, but I have it because it's handy, right? Every now and then they'll just fucking send me push notifications that are just ads going, hey, buy this thing, do this thing. It's like, dude, I don't care. Please leave me alone. I'll use you when I need you. But like, I'm just like, listen, I'm trying to watch a YouTube
Tick, tick,
video.
beep.
I do not need...
Said I'm a mixed bag regarding music.
Excuse me.
I will say Rock Like Queen is my fave due to my parents listening to it.
Respect.
My guilty pleasure music is music like Backstreet Boys.
Okay. Alright. No, I get you. I used to love the Backstreet Boys when I was a kid. Boy band music is definitely not my cup of tea these days, to be honest, but I respect it either way. Queen's really good too, so, you know. Oh, you know what? I got a question for y'all. It's related to D&D. Probably should have asked this when Simon was around, but it's fine. Have y'all ever named a character after a song that you like? Because I can tell you that for me, the answer is absolutely yes. My changeling bard, she goes by Talia Rose, but her name, her legal name is Alicia Lynn Everlong. Her last name being named after the Foo Fighters song. Which is a song that I just liked, and then I just thought Everlong kind of fit. So, you know. And if you haven't named a D&D character after a song, or referencing a song or something that you like, would you? And what would it be? Questions for the ages. Ooh, other question. What is your absolute favorite song? I don't have one, but I have a few that kind of count.
Said I like a variety of stuff. Favorite bands are probably King Gizzard, Toe, Jethro Tull, Primus, and some various others.
Okay,
I guess
I've heard
mix
of
of
some
heavier
of those.
stuff, psych rock, a little classic, prog rock, and instrumental music such as math rock.
Okay. Respect. I got you. I've heard of some of those. I'm not gonna lie, most of the time I just like load up random playlists and I don't know who the hell I'm listening to. Like, I just grab shit. It's like, oh, that sounds good. It's going on my playlist. And it's half the time I don't even look who it's by or anything. It's just like, oh, this sounds cool. Playlist. So like I've got a ton of shit on there that I'm like, I don't fucking know who this is, but it's cool. So I'm listening to it. I really should pay more attention to that though, to be honest, because then I could actually look up more of their things if I like the one song so much.
Said absolute favorite song is probably Goodbye, Gutto by Toe.
Okay. Right on. I have a few favorite songs, right? All Ends Well by Alter Bridge. I believe it's from their
Sweet
album
Simeon.
Fortress.
Said not my favorite, but Hocus Pocus by Focus is a classic if you like a good bit of guitar.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, one of my favorite songs is definitely pretty much anything from Alter Bridge, really, but All Ends Well in particular. When that came out, that really resonated with me. Dream Theater's The Answer Lies Within, probably their slowest, most somber song, honestly, one of them. But it's one of my favorites for sure. You know. So like those are two of my favorites. It's really hard to pick like an absolute favorite. Disturbed's cover of Sound of Silence, definitely one of my favorites.
Said ooh, that is tempting. Favorite song right now is a tie between Devotion by the YouTuber Amelie and probably Life Will Change from the Persona 5 soundtrack.
Oh, right on. I don't know that I've heard either of those. I should check them out. I know that Persona tends to have really good music though, so maybe I have heard it and just not realized. So I should look these up. I would do it on stream and then play everybody's favorite songs, which I think would be fun as hell, but I don't want to get in shit for copyright, so I guess I could do that thing where I set it so that the music doesn't end up as part of the VOD, but I don't like doing that. I don't like the idea of doing that. I understand why people do it. There's a completely valid reason to do it. I just don't personally like to. I don't know. I just feel like the VODs end up less engaging that way. I don't know. I guess there's nothing stopping anyone from putting their own background shit in there, but That's just me, I guess. It's kind of a whole thing.
Tiff Tiffby. Said devotion kinda makes me think of Simon's character Quincy, even though the song was written for Amelie's Vtuber's lore. Swift
Got
Simeon.
you.
Said could have a Discord session where everyone plays music.
This is true. This is very true. We could definitely do that. We should just make a playlist with everybody's favorite songs in it, and then just every time we do a hangout in Discord, we just play everyone's favorite song. And just like... Yeah, that'd be rad, actually. To do something like that. But that could be definitely a thing. I've been trying to think of ways to, like, I don't know, just engage the community some more. And like, I feel like there's a lot that I want to do that I can't do very easily. So like a lot of it's just struggling to figure out, how can I do this? How can I make this a thing that is accessible for me to do? But like fucking half the time it should just be, hey me, reach out more often. Just fucking chat with people, you know? Just at least try. You know? But like even also like for streams, I want to be able to do more community stuff because the Mario Kart is great. And I've been saying this for like ever. The Mario Kart is great. I love it and I intend to continue it. But I'm also like, man, I want to do other stuff with you guys. But I feel like there's a lot of games that I still can't really play, right? So a lot of the games that I can play, most people don't want to play. And I don't tend to try multiplayer games very often, mainly because most of the time I tend not to be able to keep up with people, and I don't like dealing with that. I really don't. And that goes back to the whole reaching out to communities thing. That can make it really hard. There was one time a few friends invited me to play Baldur's Gate 3 with them. And I really wanted to, but I felt extremely self-conscious, so like I ended up passing and telling them that I had other stuff to do, which to be fair,
Swift Simeon.
I did.
Said this is why we need Double Dash back again.
No kidding, that'd be so much fun. I would play it. But like, you know, I want to be able to play like other things, like other than Mario Kart with people, you know what I mean? Because like, I do love Mario Kart. I love me some Mario Kart. But I don't know. Like, part of me is like, would there be enough people in the community to start like a Minecraft realm or something like that? Like, would there be enough people for that? I don't really know. Because it's like, would I do a realm or should I do a dedicated server? But if I do a dedicated server, how would I run it? Because server hosts aren't very accessible, and that's frustrating. So I'm like, it would be easier to just host a realm. Probably more expensive though, by comparison. Because I looked at prices for a realm and stuff, and it's like, I think I can get servers for cheaper. It's a whole thing. And there's the ads, yet again. Alright. You know what I'm gonna do, actually? I'm gonna go for a quick bathroom break, so I'm gonna put the BRB screen on, and I'm gonna take advantage of this ad break. So, enjoy the music. I will be back. Wrong button. Sorry about that. You know, sometimes you need to do what you gotta do, right? Not often I take bathroom breaks during streams, though. I forget what I was talking about. Oh, right, doing community stuff. But I'm like, alright. This is why we need double dash back again. Yes, okay. Alright. I'm trying to think. Is there any other questions y'all might have for me? I guess is the ultimate question here. Because I'm also trying to debate, do I want to go for dinner now? I probably should. I don't know if I want to. I want to just keep chilling, to be honest with you. Like, if it wasn't Wednesday, I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna like go into the Discord and just hang out and play Minecraft, and y'all can hang out with me. I should honestly bring Minecraft streams back, but I've been kind of in a sort of creative funk when it comes to Minecraft lately. I've been struggling to think of what to build. I had that burst of inspiration for the Troll Skull Manor, which, you know, if y'all haven't seen that video, it should be somewhere in my Discord somewhere. I don't know. I don't have a link for it, but it's on my channel. But yeah, I had that like burst for that, and then I just sort of fizzled out, to be honest with you, and I want to be able to get back into it. So I'm still playing in that old Unknown Empire world, but I actually swapped back to survival, and I've been working on moving my storage room, or at least I made a new one, and I'm moving all of my old survival stuff into that and organizing it, and like so I'm just like, all this stuff that I mined like 4 years ago is a thing that I'm moving now. Kind of a whole thing. I don't really know what I'm gonna build in that world or anything, but I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. There's definitely plenty of things I could do. So there's stuff I could probably build. Like I could probably finish up, I don't know, do the house in Elgathor or something, some other town. No, I have an entire town that I started building that I never finished. I should do that. I should do Cherry. So I made this town in this Minecraft world, right? Where it's gonna be like cherry themed, and I'm just calling it Cherry Town. And I started by making a circle, and in the middle of the circle there's a cherry tree. And it's surrounded by essentially a well. Like a little bit of a moat type of thing. And it's just divided into 4 quadrants so far. And then there's exits to the outside. And I'm like, but that's it. That's all I've built. So I'm like, maybe I should focus on Cherry Town. And build something in there. And build up that town and make it a thing, you know? So I don't know, maybe I'll do that. Maybe that's how I'll get my creative shit back, is start working on that, just start doing something new. It doesn't have to be a fancy thing, doesn't have to start fancy, but maybe it'll help me come up with some ideas, you know? And then from there, I do whatever else I feel like doing, you know? It's kind of a whole thing. But it's like sometimes, like a lot of times when I get into a creative funk, especially with Minecraft, I'll just like stop playing the game for a while. And I'm like, but I don't want to stop playing Minecraft. I'm just struggling to think of what to do. So I'm like, maybe the thing to do is just switch game modes for a little bit. Because I've often said I'm not huge on survival. And I'm not. But, you know, I've set up the world in a way that some of the stuff I don't like about survival should be a non-issue for me. In theory. So, you know, there's that. But, yeah, that's, those are just my thoughts at this point on a variety of things. But you know what? I think at this point, I've got probably about an hour and a half before D&D. So I think this might be where I actually call it. So you know what? we've had some good discussions about stuff, and I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody that's been around here to chill today. And, you know, if for whatever reason you have questions that, you know, maybe you think of after the fact, or you know, whatever, feel free to send them my way. Maybe we'll do another Q&A in the future. Who knows? I'm definitely still going to be planning out that D&D chat stream that I want to do. I'm going to be talking to a few of my D&D friends and see if they're willing to talk about some stuff. And it'll be just like, I don't know, I guess just a big podcasty type thing that people can sit in on and, you know, hang out and chat about it. It'll be great. I'm excited about it. Y'all know I'm obsessed with D&D. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna talk about it anyway. So, you know, there's that. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and share my Discord one more time with y'all, just because that's kind of my tradition.
Said it's on the Discord?
There will be stuff on the Discord. If you're talking about the D&D thing, that will be here on Twitch. Like, people will be chilling with me on Discord for it. But I'm still planning all that out. But I guess it depends on what you're asking about specifically. But yeah, I mean, pretty much everything gets posted on the Discord, honestly. It's easily the best way to keep up with everything. Because like all the VODs go to YouTube, so those don't get posted on Discord, but they are around.
Said OIC okay. I didn't realize that the D&D is on Twitch also lol.
Yeah, okay, so I mean, I'll be streaming it here. We aren't going to be playing D&D. It's going to be a sort of a thing where people get together and talk about how they got into the game and their first experiences with the game and stuff like that. And just kind of an opportunity to share tips and tricks with people maybe looking to get into D&D and things of that nature, because I know it's intimidating as hell for me, so I feel like that, you know, that kind of thing could be helpful. So we're going to be doing it through Discord, where we have our guests coming on to chat about it, but it'll be streamed here on Twitch, kind of deal. So if you want to join the Discord and be part of it, you're more than welcome to. But when I figure it out, I'll post more info about it on the Discord and stuff, so you can keep up with that if you would like. But I think for now, I'm gonna head off for the night.
Said okay. Yeah, I want to listen in on it. 3.
Fair enough. Yeah. So if you keep up with the Discord, you'll definitely be, and you get the Broadcast of the World role, you'll definitely get notified about it. But I'll be posting more info about it when I actually figure it out, because it's still kind of idea phase at the moment. So yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. But for now, I'm gonna say goodnight and go eat. Have yourselves a good rest of your night as well. And I will see you guys on Friday. Probably gonna do Paper Mario. I feel like it's been forever since we've done it. So
Tiff B.
We're gonna
Said
do
you
the
too.
thing. Yeah. All right. Peace out, y'all. I appreciate you.